Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 25th. It's June. It's the year 2025. And if the creek don't rise and the good Lord's willing, I'm pushing out of here in the next 5, 6 days. I'm out of here. Truck is up and running. Doing fine tuning on it right now. The only bad thing about the last couple of days is it was 104 degrees and 103 degrees today. It's finally cooling off, but it has been brutally hot. And I know you people out west are like, oh, Richie, don't be a pussy. Well, we don't get that type of weather here, and I wasn't. I was out there working on my truck, doing what I had to do, and I got it all buttoned up. So I was going to do a live stream, but I just don't have it in me to do an entire live stream right now, so I'm going to make a video. It's hard making videos for 5 channels and then 3 other platforms, and keeping up with Twitter and keeping up with Instagram and keeping up with Facebook, so I don't. You know what I mean? I keep up pretty decent with Facebook and Twitter. Like, I try to post once a day, but I see people that just sit there and post all day, all day, all day. I actually live a life, you know what I mean? I believe the words that I'm saying, and I believe the signs that I'm seeing, so live life to the fullest you are completely able. I used to tell you this back in the old days, and I'll tell you this now. I just got off my mountain bike. It's 8:30 at night. I worked on my truck all day. I had a really hell of a time. I beat myself up bad, and I still rode down the beach on my mountain bike. And there's just so many ignorant folks, it's amazing. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to cover several topics in this video, but one of the funniest things I find is Donald Trump saying F-U-C-K live for everyone to hear. And then he makes a post saying, don't make me say the F word again. I find it very strange that a president would say that the news would run it, and then he acknowledges it again, saying, don't make me say the word F again. Well, F, false flag. F, I pet goat. I just can't. I can't get it out of my head. It is what it is, but I got a lot of things to cover. And here's a funny thing, because everybody's talking about time speeding up. Well, apparently the mainstream is too, so let's look at this. Here we go. So according to the mainstream media, they're putting out that Earth's rotation just hit a new record that's speeding up time. Isn't that a strange coincidence that they would happen to bring a topic like this up? Which is why when people complain about me having the nerve to bring up the actual biblical cosmology or shape of the earth, I tell you it's for a reason, because half of the things or the lies they foist on the public is based on NASA and the false shape of the earth. But according to the mainstream, the earth is speeding up, which is also speeding up time. Isn't that fantastic? All of a sudden the frequencies in the room just dropped and my ears are ringing super loud. So that's awesome. It probably has nothing to do with all these Dopplers and NexRads that are lighting up this bad, especially up in our area. There aren't very many of them up here. Did you just see that? Did you just see that right down here? See the lasers coming out, lasers coming out, lasers coming out, shooting in all directions. Incredibly dense frequencies right here. And then whatever that green thing was, is that going to come back? I was trying to show you up here, but that really distracted me. There it is. Whatever that just was. Yeah, they're conjuring big time. Look at this. We got rain coming apparently, but this is probably why the ringing in my ears just hit a whole new level. But I digress. So everybody's been hitting me up, and lots of dudes that I know, whether they're awake or not, have been hitting me up because apparently Donald Trump is literally selling the country off more than they already have. But you have to understand, he's shown exactly what he is since the day he walked in. He's just shown what he is. He's a billionaire. You don't become a billionaire twice on this earth without leaving some bodies behind you. And you certainly don't become a billionaire when you have empathy or care about other people that aren't somehow making you more wealthy.
Big beautiful bill. Talk to us about the energy components that are in there. I know it's going through the whole bird bath thing right now in the U.S. Senate with the parliamentarian, and they're making different rulings on this thing can go and that thing can't. But I think there are some things in there with regard to the lease sales for drilling in offshore, onshore Alaska. Talk to us about what's in there on that.
Well, first of all, let's think about what we went through under the Biden administration just less than a year ago. There were only 2 lease sales in the Gulf of America during the Biden administration. The reason that those occurred was because of a bipartisan compromise, not even a partisan compromise with Senator Manchin, who said that there have to be lease sales in the Gulf of America if he was going to vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. There would have been 0 lease sales in the Gulf of America under President Biden were it not for the Inflation Reduction Act, or Inflation Creation Act, as I used to call it. So unfortunately, we had a situation where we need this continued investment in the Gulf. And if we don't have that continued investment in the Gulf, you're not going to be able to continue to produce oil from that incredibly prolific region. So we now have a situation where under the Big Beautiful Bill, or One Big Beautiful Bill, they're actually going to be mandating lease sales in the Gulf of America for the first time statutorily, which is an incredible thing. So what that means is we're going to have 2 lease sales every year guaranteed, at least 2 lease sale every year guaranteed for the next 15 years. Onshore, they're doing the same thing, guaranteeing for the next 10 years 4 lease sales onshore as well. So these are in areas that we're developing now. You think about like what federal lands are in the United States. The second largest oil producing state in the United States is New Mexico, almost entirely federal lands, where just across the border in Texas, it is all private lands. So that's why all the development has been in the state of Texas. So we need those lease sales onshore as well. Secretary also mentioned Alaska, one of the most prolific oil regions in the world, and we've been locking those resources up for decades and decades. So we're excited also about the opportunity to continue to develop the state of Alaska.
Why isn't anybody talking about that? I don't see the establishment media talking about this. I don't see frankly, even I wish more people would have the conversation we just had with the secretary, because I think this, with everything that's going on in the world, this makes the Senate moving on this as quickly as possible even more profound and urgent, right? Like, why are we not having this discussion? Why is it not getting out there?
You're exactly right, Matt. The truth is that these provisions are the key to American energy dominance going forward. This guarantees energy dominance going forward in the United States. More people should be talking about it.
So they're openly selling the country off. So the places that I like to go off-roading, the United States of America, anything that's got oil on it or anything that's got precious metals that they haven't already completely pillaged and raped, they're just going to sell off and do what they want. They're already looking past us. Do you see what I'm saying? Because this entire thing is showing its true colors. This guy, RFK, that everybody was he's awake, he's one of us, he's anti-vaccine. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, he's put out exactly what he plans on doing, and I knew this was coming anyways. This is easy.
Their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following up.
Yeah, wearables. Everyone will be wearing wearables. Why do people need to wear wearables? What people need to do is stop eating and being fed poison, being sprayed poison in the skies, having fluoride in your waters, being vaccinated for things that don't even exist, and giving vaccines to children the moment they come out of the mother's womb. You know what I'm saying? And how are they going to get people to do this? Well, just like they do everything else. False flags and pandemics, and we've got both of those coming right down the pipeline. Trust me. Or actually, you don't have to, because you probably already see it coming. And here's another doozy. Scientists detected unusual airborne toxin in the United States for the first time. And they're excited about it. And it's a crazy thing. They're trying to say it's a forever particle that is somehow something that would be from mining. Like that company Alcoa I've told you about a million times that literally causes barium, strontium, and aluminum. And they just decided to spray it into the sky to get rid of it. This is amazing. They're prepping the public. They're priming them right now. All this stuff that we found in the atmosphere, our samples, they're literally finding barium, strontium, aluminum, and then not saying exactly what they are. Even though 12 separate states have decided that they're going to try to ban chemtrails, even though the mainstream is making light of it. But it's a nice bit of justification, not that it matters, but 12 states trying to ban chemtrailing. You know, I've been talking about this for an awfully long time. It's why I started my channel, but it is what it is, whatever. So let's get back to the two F words, false flags. That's the only thing I can see when Trump posts this. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't make me use the other F word, which would be flag or false. Do you see what I'm saying? And then, of course, we've been hearing the rumors about sleeper cells in the United States that the government flew in. You know what I mean? And then magically, all of a sudden, we've got 11 Iranians and a U.S. citizen detained by ICE that were suspected of being sleeper cells. And they do a great big article on it. What this is doing is getting the average sheep acquainted with the fact that there are sleeper cells, whether they're Iranian or Israeli or American or whatever. You know, somebody that's getting paid by Gates or the World Economic Forum or the U.S. government or Donald Trump or the billionaires themselves. But these guys are actually going through with this. This is really occurring, and you need to use caution and be aware. I don't know what else to possibly say, but this is going down. They're getting ready. And speaking of ICE just came up with this phenomenal game plan. So apparently one of the airstrips that the Clintons or the Bush family was using to get drugs into the United States, they're calling it an abandoned airfield in the middle of the Everglades, is going to be repurposed.
Alligator Alcatraz. Attorney General James Uthmeyer here. This is an old, virtually abandoned airport facility right in the middle of the Everglades. 30 square mile area is completely surrounded by the Everglades. Presents a efficient, low-cost opportunity to build a temporary detention facility because you don't need to invest that much in the perimeter. People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
So I find that really strange because I wonder how many mysterious bases they have like that all around the United States in places that they used to use to smuggle drugs in to get their own constituents or citizens hooked on drugs, because that's how it happened. Just so you know, there's no way to smuggle hundreds and hundreds of tons of cocaine or heroin into the United States without the authorities knowing. But there's too much money involved, so they allowed it, and here we are. So one last thing I want to hit on before I wrap this up. The illegals protesting, the American people protesting, this is all to create massive chaos. I've already told you that, you understand that. But here's an actual vice mayor. This is an actual elected official or whatever in California calling for gang members to literally stand up and fight, you know, using violence against federal officials. This is insane. This is insane. So this makes sense. This was the plan for flooding the country with illegals to get this result right now.
The political leader calling upon criminal street gangs to take action. That takes on a far more sinister meaning and perhaps even criminal.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the Cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at? Bien calladitos, todos los chulitos. I'm like, dude, they're running amok all up in on your streets and in your city. And peep, when the big gang guns come in, nothing but like quiet, and we're out here, the regular ones that have never been jumped in, out here calling things out trying to organize people, trying to do the thing. So don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing. If you're not showing up right now, trying to like help out and organize, I don't want to hear a peep out of you once they're gone, trying to claim that this is my block. This was not your block. You weren't even here helping out. So whoever's the leadership over there, just...
So whoever allowed these people to be quote unquote elected you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? This is incredibly insane that our own issues are being propagated by the left and the right. You see what I mean? The left and the right. But it appears they all have the same goal, because the left and the right, as I've told you for years, is all the same bird. This is crazy time. This is the result of barium, strontium, aluminum, fluoride, genetically modified foods, vaccines, recreational drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, pharmakeia in action. People are so stupid that this isn't somehow a huge problem. You know what I mean? This is just unbelievable. So today's the 26th. I started this on the 25th. Today's the 26th. Be ready, because these guys are getting ready to drop it. They're destroying the country, and it's astonishing to me how many people still think somehow peace through strength is happening. It just blows me away. At any rate, I'm out.
This is the face of the Iranian regime. This is the impact of one ballistic missile that the Iranians shot, as always, at the center of civilian populated areas. Hundreds of families have now had to leave their homes. Lives, years in apartments are done with this attack. And this is why we're fighting. This is why we're operating against Iran. The Iranians wanted to achieve thousands of these ballistic missiles towards our civilians. We're operating to defend Israeli civilians, and we're operating to thwart these threats. Just this morning, we were able to thwart ballistic missiles that were pointed and about to be fired towards Israeli civilians. That's what we're doing every single day in Iran.